So first and foremost, I'd like to welcome and thank all of you for joining in today. My name is Kapil Nakra and I'm one of the co-founders of Digital Vidya. Today, the session is very, very interesting as well as it would be much more engaging than any of our previous session. The topic of today's session is 3 steps to develop an online marketing plan in 1 hour. And apart from the 3-step process, we'll also be looking into several tools that can help you to quickly identify the dormant marketing tactics used in any industry. Of course, one of them is doing digital Vidya program. So sorry, I was just joking. So to lead this session, we have with us Ravi Trivedi. Ravi is a founder of, just give me a minute. Yeah, Ravi is a founder of Shrijan Capital, and he is an angel investor, incubator, and he also leads the marketing effort for couponrani.com. Welcome, Ravi. Really glad to have you here with us. And before having this session, in fact, me and Ravi were having a discussion. One of his area of interest is growth hacking. And I'm really, really looking forward to today's session and trying to crack some of the hacks for my organization as well. So just to set the logistics before I hand over the session to Ravi, by default, all of you are muted. At any time, let's keep this session as interactive as possible. At any time, if you have any question, just put it down in the question panel and we'll take up the question at an appropriate time. And at various times, we'll, if the further discussion is needed, we'll unmute you individually as well. Now, before moving forward, I'm just launching this poll in front of you. The poll question says that what best describes you? So that would help us to structure the entire session appropriately. If you're in the sales and marketing, if you're a sales and marketing professional, choose the first option. Digital marketer, choose the second option. If you're an entrepreneur, the third option. Student, fourth option, and the rest of you can mark as another category. So guys, let's keep it as interactive and let's take another 5 seconds. Let's complete this. There's still some of you filling it up and then I'll just close the poll. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, close. Great. So Ravi, just for your information and for everyone's information, right now in the group we have 56 of us, including you and me, and 39% have said that they are sales and marketing professional, 21% are digital marketing professional, 29% are entrepreneurs, 3% are students, and 8% are in other category. So that's it from my side. Over to you, Ravi. You can continue the session.
Hey, welcome everyone. Hope you're able to hear me loud and clear. If you're not, do send me a message in the chat. By the way, while you were chatting, there were some questions, so I went ahead and answered. I hope you guys got it. One question was around, can we have the webcam for a while? I will put it on, but in the interest of audio quality, I put it off. And again, so but let's move ahead. Let's focus on the topic. So today I'm here to talk about how do you quickly make an online marketing plan. Again, the idea here is to do it in 1 hour. The idea here is to do it quickly and so that you can come up with some quick ideas. This is going to be an interactive session as mentioned, and I would like you to please feel free to ask me questions via chat, and we will open up for every 10 minutes or 15 minutes of prepared remarks for questions. You can raise your hand and I'll give you the mic control and you can ask questions as well as in chat. So let's make it as interactive. So let's begin. I first put out my background because it does get confusing for some of you, and why I'm here. So the first thing I would talk about is like Kapil mentioned, I run digital marketing for couponrani. It's an incubated company of ours. We are the top 3 or 4 site in couponing in India with more than 8 lakh or 800,000 visits a month. In the past, I used to run allconnect.com, which was an online division in the US, company rentmoney.com as well. I also have a rich experience in investment side. I was a venture capitalist, and then when I came back to India, I started Shrijan. But again, I'm here mainly for digital marketing, not regards to investment, something else. So let's keep moving. So this is a quick overview of what we're going to cover today. We're going to first talk about the 3 steps. In between, there's some sprinkling of some conversion optimization ideas. We will look at some free tools to do quick analysis. Again, this material is at a beginner level, but I am hoping if you are an advanced professional, like the 21% people who said they were digital marketing professionals, there will be some insights that you will be able to take away from this. All right. So shall we move ahead? All right.
Ravi, a lot of people are saying.
Moving on. So the first, yeah.
Great. I mean, I'm just asking you to turn off the webcam since a lot of people were saying voice was not coming clearly. Now it is fine. Great.
Okay, I just turned it off. Yeah. All right. So let's begin. So the first step in making a business plan, or sorry, making a marketing plan for your business is to identify your target market. Now this seems like a trivial question, but is often the hardest one. If you even ask a big company what business are they in, it'll be hard. So this is a soul searching kind of question, and you got to go back to the whiteboard, answer it in a Twitter 140 character or 2 sentence, and then come back with clarity. This is often hardest. Why is that? Because we would like to conquer the world. We would like to market to everybody in the world. We would like to sell to everybody who's between 18 to 30. But guess what? If it is not targeted enough, it's hard to get your messaging right. It's hard to get ROI. We'll cover that later, but the idea of identifying target market is to get as focused as you are around who is your customer or who's going to make pay, right? And to drive the messaging around it. So the second point which I mentioned, is it targeted enough? That's very relevant. If it is not targeted, you are ending up spending a lot of money, and that's part of the thing why, I mean, some of the marketing is expensive, but if you're looking for some growth hacks, this is one of the few things that you got to get absolutely right. I'll give you an example of target audience. So I did say 18 to 30 years. It's a bad example of target audience, and I can tell you, half of you are running, let's say, a mobile recharge site or a site for selling T-shirts, and say, okay, this is my target audience, but guess it's too broad. Why is it too broad? Because you cannot make messaging for such a broad. So example of targeting would be, okay, I want to reach out to business customers who are running businesses who are either in healthcare domain. That's an example of good targeting. Why did I say good? Again, it's in quotes, because you can then identify specific means to reach them. So that's the first task we're going to do. For moving on, we're going to look at, is your market large? Is it large enough? You cannot target it to the extent that you're reaching only 100 people. You're defeating the purpose of the volume there. So that's the 3 things I was talking about in identification of the target market. By the way, like I said, we'll make it interactive, so I'll quickly run over my steps. We'll do one sample case study, which is I picked up Fresh as an example, and then I would ask you guys, at least few volunteers to step up. We'll put their websites right up there, and we're going to make online marketing plan on the fly. And we're going to, I think that would be most interesting. All right. Second step, once you have found the target market, what do? You phone your messaging. Messaging is again a very broad word. It means messaging on the website, messaging, in your print ads, messaging various collaterals. But here again, because it's online marketing, I'm mostly focused on messaging on the web. And I'm assuming this is usually a consumer or a SaaS play, which means the messaging is directly responsible for conversion events on your website. Why is messaging important? I'm sure you've heard of this term called bounce rate. How many of you know what's a bounce rate? Anybody wants to raise a hand, chat? Feel free to chat, guys. Kapil, are they able to chat, by the way?
They would be able to post questions.
Okay, only questions. Okay, no worries. So I'm assuming you guys do know what is bounce rate, but bounce rate is when a visitor visits your site and you are there only for 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds, or you visited less than 1 page. So there are 2 definitions, and Google Analytics uses one of them. So the idea of a bounce rate is a visitor, when he comes to your site, he's going to just see the message very quickly, less than 10 seconds, and he's going to make a determination, have I landed in the right site? And if I have not, then he's going to just go away. It's an important metric, and that's why the messaging is very important. Let me take a quick pause. I'm seeing a lot of questions, Kapil, but I'm not able to read them. 1 second. I want to
expand the question.
Okay, Vikas said it goes back without action. That's correct. Yeah. Is there a way to maximize? I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, I got it. Okay, sorry guys. Somebody said the voice is not clear. Tripti, is it clear now? If it is not, send me notes, okay? All right, nothing else, okay? Okay, Vikas says it's good. All right, so let's keep going. Second step, let's get to the messaging. We want to create messaging for the target audience. And we'll look at some examples later on. But the idea here is if you have broad messaging which has poor conversion, again, remember it is fine to ignore a set of audience as long as you know your target audience. It's a big point because we often want to catch everybody and sell to everybody, but unfortunately it's not possible. And so we got to decide who's our target audience and got to create messaging for them. Now the final point is for the techies in the audience, which there are few, don't create messaging you want. What does it mean? If you are a techie, you are so excited about that, you know what, I wrote in Ruby on Rails. I have a platform, it is 99.9% reliable. Guess what? That's not what the customers are there for, unless you are in an IT service, industry. The point here is don't create messaging you want. It should not be inward looking. It should not look at yourself and say, I am proud of so and so. It's about what the customers care about. Keep that in mind. And again, I have seen this happen day in and day out where people will come and create messaging which they are proud of. They're not thinking from the eyes of the customer. And part of it is often because they don't know who is their customer, because they're targeting everyone. So they don't know what they really care about. So this is the second point, own your messaging. All right, the third one is the big point. We have kind of in two sub-points. Now, once we have got the target market, own your messaging. So until this time, what we did was we did our website, got it ready for traffic. Now it's time to get traffic. So what are we going to do? We're going to go look for those three places where we can find traffic to your website. Again, why three? Again, three is again easy to pick, MBA number, whichever way. So what do? We look at all the places where you think your target audience hangs out. How do you do that? One method, the first one I mentioned is first study your competitors. Look at what are their dominant acquisition tactics. What are they using to acquire customers? And very quickly in next slides we'll look at Myntra and Jabon. And I'm going to show you how do they acquire customers. Then this is where a little bit of planning is comes. Analyze the tactics and say, okay, what is the expected volume from a tactic? What is the expected ROI from a tactic? Right? So we're going to try to address that and then say, okay, using those two measures based on what we have, if volume is important for me, which means I am a startup who needs to grow 100%. I don't care about profitability. I'm going to pick up that channel. You know what? I'm an organic startup. I don't have so much money. I need to pick the highest ROI. So we're going to pick the three channels that we believe will meet our goals. In some cases volume, some cases ROI, some cases a mix of them, and then we're going to test that. Again, I have kept it very broad. AdWords or PPC is an example. You can get it finer. You can say display ads. You can say display retargeting ad. I have not got a fine grain, but eventually it gets to that level. Email, you can say email drip marketing, email transaction marketing, email repeat marketing. There are many versions of each of them, but just to give you an idea, make this table, then come up with which you think the top three want to target, and then do what? Then you go and test. You test, and you see which of the channel is performing well. How do you see? Against your expected volume, ROI, and the ones that perform well, you double down. And the ones that they don't, you remove them or reduce the weightage. At high level, if you're a large organization, you're probably doing most of the tactics. But to find growth hacks, this is where some of these things lie. Which is okay, you've got to go deeper into the channel and tactics and see which ones perform. Again, if it's not clear what I said in last three slides, please ask me questions. I would love to answer stuff. I don't like a monologue, so I see there are 80 participants. So great, thanks for having you guys. Please ask me questions so I can address. But if you don't, I'll continue and we'll quickly look at some tools. So I said, okay, first step I said was look at the competitors' acquisition. How do I do that? I'm going to put a tool. I hope half of you know about it. If not, I'm glad you know now. It's a tool called SimilarWeb. There's a tool called SimilarWeb. There's a tool called SimilarWeb. which can be used to analyze the traffic of the website. It can also give you very clear indication of what are the dominant tactics. So I'm sorry, by the way, there was some disturbance. I was mute for a while. But yeah, so let's go back to Jabong versus Myntra. So here we are just very quickly able to see what is the time on the site, how many visits. We talked about bounce rate, why it's so important, because bounce rate of a site is used in many places. It's used in SEO, it's used in PPC, it's used in many places in terms of how it determines your outcomes in those, right? So it's one of the key metrics. So let me quickly take a digression and say, if there is one single metric that you would care about in your site, and there are several of them which are out there and it gets confusing, I would say bounce rate is one of the most important metrics. Rest, most of them are not that material. Because to me, a bounce rate is an indication of how you are serving the customer who came in your site. Just keep that in mind. All right, so we just did a quick computer analysis, but that's not interesting. Let's go to the interesting part. So this is what I was referring to. Now this is a marketing mix. What is the marketing mix? What it is showing is side by side, Myntra versus Jabong, how they are driving traffic to their respective sites. So direct is a large portion, right? So again, I see you guys are very quiet. Anybody wants to take a crack at what does direct traffic imply? What is direct traffic? All right. Is there, okay, one second, let me see. I see some raising of hand. Can you guys chat, by the way? Some of the questions are on. 1 second. All right.
You can check on the question panel. Guys are writing down what they think is the direct traffic.
Actually, my question panel is just...
You want me to read out?
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, can you please just bring it out? I'm sorry. My panel has just gone away. I'm sorry, guys, still trying to...
Okay, no, Nicole is saying that using the exact URL or the name on Google search. Direct traffic is...
That is correct. So that's...
From site.
Yeah.
That's
correct. So what does it indicate? If I have a high direct traffic, what does it indicate? You guys know what it indicates? So, okay, I found it. Okay. All right. I found the questions panel. All right. Yeah, brand awareness. Right. Great. So what it indicates is that there is enough brand awareness of the brand. People are typing direct. It's also, so again, these are mature sites, enough branding dollars. Again, so that's just a digression, but just to understand this. Referrals. Again, let me see who was orange. 1 second. Orange was Myntra, right? So what it's showing is referrals is a large channel for Myntra, right? So we got some insights, so they're heavy on it. Again, search, Jabong is winning. Social, Jabong is doing more. It's a quick summary again. Some of you might have seen it, but it's a good starting point when you are trying to make a quick plan in a new business, right? Always do this. Okay, now somebody asked this interesting question, referrals via some other site. Yes, I'm going to take this because it's right into the business kind of where we operate. We are, an affiliate marketer or a partner. So let me ask this question. You guys see leading reference sites in green? Now the first one, S2D6. Now there's a bonus for this. Special reward. Can anybody tell me what is S2D6.com? What site? Have you heard of it? I've never heard of it. We don't come across, it's not Pinterest. Can anybody tell what the site is? Alright guys, I hope at least some of you get it.
Who is saying affiliate?
They're saying affiliate, okay, but what is this? I mean, yeah, because I gave the hint, but which network is that? Alright, so I think the person who said affiliate is right. So it's an affiliate site, it is DGM. Again, you won't know it unless you're in the industry. But still, what I'm trying to share here is this is an affiliate channel. So affiliate is the one that is actually driving the large portion of Myntra sales. And this happens to be, again, you can map the URLs to the networks out there. So they are an aggregator. So DGM is an aggregator. After that, you see Recharge It Now, then you see OMG, which is again affiliate. M2 Pub, So the point I'm trying to drive is this information alone gives you some good insights again. So use this, and you can use it to then say, okay, if this is working for them, then maybe let's look at, can it work for us? Okay. So quick analysis further on. Now this tool again, I like it a lot. Look at this. It's giving you a quick keyword research. Again, we have not got into keyword research, but keyword is essential part of digital marketing, whether it is SEO, PPC. And again, it's related to when you get down to, okay, how do I do an AdWords plan? You're going to say, okay, what am I going to advertise on? What are the keywords people are searching? And so that's when you need this research, and it's quickly showing you, how is Jabong getting the traffic. The organic is the interesting part, but even more interesting, in my opinion, is the paid part. Why is that? Because if they are paying for it, and again, yes, we do know that a lot of advertisers may pay for traffic without getting an ROI, but but still, you can still get a sense. Here the one insight I can say, apart from the branded keywords that is out there, woodland shoe is probably a good category for Jabong. I can get that insight. Again, by the way, this is a free version, giving you enough information. Again, I have no tie-up with SimilarWeb, but again, you guys, couple you guys can tell me. But so far, what I found is the only way to do more research on paid keywords, which competitors or people in the industry are bidding in India, is SimilarWeb Pro Edition, which is little costly, but it gives you a lot of insight. So anyway, so let's get back to the marketing plan. But these are some tools. What else can we do? All right, we can do some quick keyword research using AdWords. Again, you guys have heard of the free tool that Google has for advertising. It'll give you. So I just quickly in the morning did some research on mobile recharge. Now they've got advanced planning in there. You tell your budget. I said 2,000 rupees. I told these are the three keywords. I told them how much is my bid, and there came how many impressions you can get in a month, what your position would be. You can do a lot of stuff. Okay, so I have a question from Yatin. Does any tool tell us what our competitor keywords are? Absolutely, that's the one that I answered. SimilarWeb. That's exactly what I said. I'll go back to the slide. So this is for the Myntra guys who are doing research on Jabong. This is what they're finding. What are the keywords they're putting on? And again, if you are focused on US and other geos, you got keyword spy food. There's a whole list of tools out there. But for India, so far at least, we found only SimilarWeb. So that's what I was saying. Okay, it doesn't mention the actual keyword on that slide. No, there is. If you look at the slide, the paid keywords, those are the keywords. That's the keyword we talk. I wish I had a point, but I'm referring to the paid keyword section on the right side. By the way, Kapil, is there a pointer in this? Any pointer?
Whatever.
I can point to a section in the slide.
The noise pointer is actually been visible to all of us.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, good. Let's keep moving. All right, so this tool Alexa used to be the go-to earlier. So just put it up there. Similar data, same upstream side, downstream side, same idea. All right, so let's move on. So let's get back to making a marketing plan. So what I said was, you look at competitor, get some ideas of channels. We look at some other research to identify where the people hang. In a holistic marketing plan, you would also look at offline channel. Again, right now I'm looking at online only, but in some cases, maybe your answer is you go to a seminar where people around this industry aggregate, or you go to some offline newspaper insert. I mean, there are many offline tactics also. If you make a holistic plan, you could consider them, but I mean, there are maybe 50 to 100 of those tactics. You almost put them in a basket and kind of use some analysis, smart analysis, and come back with, what are the three. But the idea I'm here talking about is less on analysis, but more on the process. The process is put the channels which you think are likely to perform, both in terms of volume and ROI, then keep testing, and see which perform. Again, when you do a test, don't do a short test. Again, the thing, for example, I would say in India, I've seen it, okay, if you're doing paid, people have tendency to be, okay, I don't want to burn, but even to do a test on a paid channel, you got to at least spend 50,000 to a lakh rupees. Before that, it's too early to say if it works or not. And so just keep that in mind. But spend enough time and resources on a channel, pick three and test them. If they work, double down. If not, move to the next one. All right. The third point here, don't track vanity metrics. So what are vanity metrics? Vanity metrics are those nice little metrics that when you log in to Google Analytics, they come there, looks nice, Maybe your boss is happy, but they're not actionable. Why is that? Google Analytics threw everything in the damn world inside that so that people could do this kind of analysis, that kind of analysis. But unfortunately, from an actionable perspective, there are only very few. And for a lot of them, you have to do custom events. Again, there are many, I think, classes in digital Vidya and others talk about how do you set up your analytics to know the actionable metrics and how do you measure them. But keep that in mind. Try to identify what are the actionable metrics for your business and try to make sure you measure them. And so that's when you do the testing on these channels, you need to know what are the metrics. Is conversion to the next page my metric? Is getting to the lead my metric? Lead conversion? Is getting to revenue? What is eventually ultimate metric is revenue. But what is, maybe sometimes you have these metrics which are called the macro, and then there are the micro conversion. So be aware, but do know there are only 2 or 3 big ones that move everything. Just keep focus on those. Don't just get lost in the quagmire of Google Analytics. Now remember the last point. This is more from the hacking perspective. If you want big improvements, be ready to make drastic changes to the site. Right? That's the big thing. If you make incremental changes, I doubt you get implemented. This is especially true if you are in a business where you know, okay, it's going this way, and you know, need big change. All right. Let's, okay, I have a few more slides on the metrics, and then I think, then we'll do the sample. All right. So the next one here is talking about some funnel metrics. So this I put it for e-commerce companies. For example, in an e-commerce company, you would like to know what percentage of people convert from visitors to add to cart and from add to cart to checkout. So there were 2 conversion events there. Now, what I also said there was, what is the funnel for your business? Please be aware of it. I'll give you another example. Let's say you land on a page on your home page. What is the action you want them to do? You want them to register? You want them to Facebook Live? You want them to subscribe to the newsletter? Be clear on that action you want. Don't throw 10 actions in there, right? So the reason I bring it up here is that you've got to know what is the most important metric. Then you've got to know what does the funnel look like. What does the funnel mean? How many people visit, then get to the next stage and get to the final stage, right? Then the second point, even more interesting, what are the benchmarks? Again, when we do live examples, I'll ask this question. Okay, I run a lead gen campaign. I'm getting, 10% conversion on my leads. What does it mean? 100 people came, 10 people filled the form. Is it good number? Is it bad? Well, guess what? It depends. It depends on the industry you are in. Are you in insurance? Are you bringing paid traffic which is targeted? Then, it's not good. 20 to 25% is what's the average again. So things like those. So you first know the metrics which are important. Second, you try to identify what are the benchmarks for that, and then figure out, where I'm underperforming. And if you know where you're underperforming, then you know where to fix it, right? The final one is more for the analytics, how do you enable event goal tracking? These are the 2 methods in Google Analytics, event-based or goal-based, which help you, track how many people went from visitor to add to cart. Look them up. Then the other question is, okay, how do you assign value? Again, I'll not take this. It's probably for the bigger class that is right here. All right, let's get back to, I'll do a quick summary of Freshdesk, but I will ask you guys. But before I ask, let me ask. Any questions you guys have at this stage? There are 78 of you guys here, or 76. I hope at least you ask me 10 questions. If you're not answering 10 questions, then that means I've not done my job to communicate that. Please ask any questions here. Then we'll do this sample and then live case study from you guys.
Ravi, I hope you're able to see.
Right, I'm waiting for questions. Yes, I am. In the meanwhile, if you have any question, Kapil, feel free. This is your first time to anything you want, just to keep it.
I mean, I have one question. I think you rightly mentioned more than close to 90% of the metrics available in Google Analytics are vanity metrics, right? And so do you recommend that businesses should continue to use Google Analytics? Those 10% are sufficient, or do you recommend some other tool for web analytics as well?
That's great. That's a great question. There have been many attempts like Mixpanel and a couple of other tools out there. See, I would say once you have an understanding of which metric is important, you should then probably configure your Google Analytics. But then for various, whether it's a SaaS company, there are several, tools specifically built around, specific questions, whether it's a leakage in the top of the funnel, in the middle, or the bottom, right? So, all right, so I didn't get any questions, so maybe, I don't know. So feel free to ask questions. I'll still continue.
Actually, I hope you're able to see them.
I'm sorry, are there questions?
There are lots of questions actually. If you look at...
One second. Okay, I'll open it again. Are they appearing at the top?
No. So there's a question panel.
So the last question I got is 324.
No, after that there are close to...
Is there any question after 324?
Yes. Just if you just scroll down, you would be able to see other questions. So you want me to read it out for you?
For me, can you please go ahead? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
because I'm not able to see. I just want to keep going.
Mahua is saying, for education, what could be the ideal conversion rate? By the way, I also want to ask this.
Great question. It's a very broad question. So let's say you do a lead gen. Let's say you're digital Vidya. I was going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
And you had a course where you were enrolling for the growth hacking course, right? Again, incidentally, I know some numbers because I have helped some of your competitors. But irrespective, what I'm coming to is, let's say you have a very clear description, the audience is targeted. I would say anything less than 10% in a lead gen form is a targeted is poor. That's what I would say, double digits. Because you got targeted, it all matters. See, if you're getting organic traffic, oftentimes it may not be targeted because you don't control all the keywords on which. But if you're running a PPC ad, you know exactly on which they're coming, and if you're not addressing what they're looking for or running ad on the wrong, then that's bad. But in a steady state, 15 to 20%. I would say I've seen 25 to 30% in education. But it depends. Like this is digital Vidya like online courses. So I need to know more what course, what kind of stuff you run. Please go on again. Any other questions? Let's keep.
Vijay Talreja, he has a question on the similar lines. How to get credible benchmarks for these metrics?
Unfortunately, none. You got to ask the experts. You got to ask the experts or interview enough of your people who are in your competitors' marketing department. Either of them. Or some. Okay, let me answer the other way. There are some of these studies out on the web. Do look out for them as well. So for e-com, well documented, several studies, SaaS also, but to get very specific, you'll have to do little more than that. You'll have to have some kind of, yes, Yatin asked, is there a published source of it?
Okay. Right. Another is, Kriti has asked a question, when do startups decide to advertise on TV instead of using digital ads or free charge?
It's a great question. See, I wish I knew, but see, I'll tell you this. The question to ask is, what is your objective there to advertising TV? Is it brand? Are you trying to get direct? It just depends. If there is an industry in which TV is expensive, but does not mean it may not have high ROI. Again, this is one of the common myths and mistakes people do. They assume a more expensive channel has low ROI. Yes, it has a higher risk, but it does not mean it has a low ROI. So keep that in mind. See if, TV advertising, again, mostly TV is done for branding. So again, can that branding lift your other campaigns in conjunction with some campaigns for conversion? But, that's what I would say. But in general, yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
Great.
All right. Any other question? Okay, I think I'm now able to see some of them.
There are
I've got some
15, 16 more to go. Do you want me to?
Okay, so how much budget are marketers in, digital marketing? That's a great question. Jayalakshmi asked. Again, I don't have like a huge data set, but anecdotally, it depends on the industry. If you're e-com, digital marketing budget is maybe 70%, and rest 30% is the print and offline. But if some other industry, maybe less, right? Okay. Ramya asked, suppose I want to sell a product online, how can I post my ad? Okay, it's easy, you just go ahead and post your ad. I mean, I don't think you can just make an ad. What's the healthy ratio for paid organic traffic for brand? Is it 10%? Okay, Appa, you need to clarify, I don't understand fully, paid to organic traffic for brand. Okay, you are saying if there's a brand traffic. I don't know the answer to that. All right. All right. So for mobile app, what is the best channel to use? Okay. Mobile app marketing, again, good question. I don't know the answer fully. I would say there are both mix of channels. Again, when I said I don't know, because I don't know exactly what works, but people have done review sites featuring on the App Store and paid downloads, and a mix of those. So, all right, let me keep going. Let me stop there for a while. Let's do this case study, because I see questions are a little outside what we want to cover. Partly because we covered a lot of stuff outside as well. Let me just go to this sample. Let's stick on this, and then we'll come back to the question. I promise I'll try to answer everyone. All right. So let's look at Fresh Desk. Let's look at this Fresh Desk example right there. Now this is a landing page. This is the page when people come. But based on this, what's the step one? Let's assume, and again for simplicity, let's assume I know Girish. Girish is the founder of Fresh Desk and CEO. He's building a help desk software targeted towards small and medium businesses. Again, I know it's broad targeting, but I'll keep it at that. And I know that information. Now I've come to step two. Can you comment on how is the messaging on this page? This is his home page, also the landing page. What do you think about the messaging? What do you think? Give me some comments. See, while you're brilliant, right? I'll continue. I'll tell you what are the good pieces. This is some conversion tips, but the first step we did quickly because we didn't have an entrepreneur, but we'll do it soon. The second step on messaging, exceptional customer support in the center. Now this is a screenshot of above the fold. I hope people know what is above the fold. In the interest of time, I'll let people know what is above the fold. Above the fold is the portion of your website that you can visit without scrolling the mouse down. Why is that important? Guess what? We talked about bounce rate. You know what happens when people bounce? They don't even scroll down. Why is that? Because we are all lazy. We don't even want to scroll down a mouse. So above the fold is the most real estate asset website which you want and pay the receipt pounds. So this is what I've shown. Above the fold, right at the center, messaging around what they do. Clear vision statement or rather clear value statement. They say exceptional customers. What else is good in this page? Just to kind of quickly look at trust element, trusted by. It's a good. Okay, somebody asked, does the fold change according to? Absolutely, the fold change, changes definitely, right? And somebody said lazy, like you were to. Absolutely, people are extremely lazy. You have to assume that they would want to do things that can do in one click. If we gave them the option, they'll do it. That's what the the app-based new aggregators or new apps that help you shop or do are, right? They just make you lazy. Anyway, so trust is great. What else is good? You've got a clear phone number. I'm a big fan of phone number. Why am I talking about it here? Because when you make your landing pages, hone your messaging, it builds the trustable. It is trustable. It's not a fly-by-night operator. It shows that this business, again, and if you notice the number, it's a US number, because that's the customer he's trying to target. If you put an India number on a US customer, guess what happens? They think, oh, this guy is in US and sorry, in India, and maybe I don't know, trustable or not. Very important. Phone number is very key. A lot of businesses. Also, an important source for leads. Again, not enough time to cover, but just keep that in mind. Pricing, clear pricing. Huge, huge. Now the form itself, simple form, single call to action. Few things we like. But in terms of messaging, good, well done page, all the right elements. Even then, these guys do A/B testing like crazy. This is like a page like 4 months back. 10 versions have changed. So, but it's an ongoing thing. But to get started, you got to make sure you got those elements right. Now to think about, what's the channels these guys would be acquiring. Again, if we can do that computer analysis and look at them, they look at, because it's acquiring visitors from the US, digital is huge. Sitting in India, you're acquiring customers from the US. AdWords is huge for them, display is huge for them, you can do that analysis in similar web, and email is huge for them. Again, SaaS company, trip market. Few tactics, but again, this is a sample. I didn't delve much into each of them, each but a long discussion. Let's go take a website from one of you, two of you, and put you guys on the mic, and then let's do it. How does it sound? Who wants to go? Either raise your hand or put in the question and I will give the mic or a couple more. While we are waiting, let me answer the questions. I just need one volunteer. We'll put the website, we'll make a marketing plan. We'll go deeper than what we did.
I'm putting down all the hands, and right now all the hands are down. So if you want to take control, you can just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, Nitesh has
got a lot of people. Okay.
We have Nitesh, Sapna, Ayan, and Anand.
Yeah, I would need your website URL and the quick description of your business while we take it, right? So if you're ready with it, Kapil, you decide what you want to. I know that we're probably not able to do all.
Let me take the first. Nitesh, you raised it first, so that's the reason I'm unmuting you. Okay. Yeah, Nitesh, I've unmuted you.
Okay, Nitesh is saying artofliving.org. One sec. Let me put it on my browser. All right, give me a second.
Nitesh, you're also unmuted. Yeah.
Is the mic live for you, Nitesh? Okay. We would really love to have someone who has a mic too. Then I'll make it. I have no issues. I can do this. You're giving me a tough one. Okay, it's okay. We'll optimize this. All right. Can you speak, Nitesh? Okay, Kapil, can we go to the next one? We'll take you later, Nitesh. Plus, this is a tough one. I may be, I may not be able to comment as freely on certain things, right? I mean, no offense, it's a great site, but yeah. Let me stay away from it.
I have unmuted you.
Who do we want to?
Sapna, can you share your website as well?
All right, Sapna. I got some websites. Shall I begin with it? Aryan Datta has put his website, allcircle.com.
Okay.
Shall I put that?
Sure.
Let's see. Aryan, you have a mic?
Aryan, I have unmuted.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, who is the target audience, Aryan? Can you tell? What is the business you do?
Yeah, we are an online B2B market. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are focusing on the aluminum industry globally under only single platform, which is allcircle.com. We are covering all the verticals of the industry, right from bauxite to downstream aluminum. So we are an online B2B news and information program. We are bringing the entire aluminum industry worldwide under a niche, a single platform.
Okay, so when the people come to your site, okay, so you're a B2B player, and you got maybe suppliers and people who will buy
everything related to the aluminum industry, right? From business inquiries to HR leads, everything.
Sure. So let me ask, what do you want the people who come from these industries on your website? See, unfortunately, again, I'll be a little hypercritical. We got a login page.
Yeah.
I
This is a landing page.
This is a landing page for what?
Yeah, for our site. The login
but
is
I don't know
for
why should I log in here. I'm not clear why I should log in. I don't
So the
know what
login
to do.
page, so if you can let me explain, the login page is actually basically registration of members. Suppose if you're registering with allcircle.com, you're getting a daily newsletter from the aluminum industry globally, and you're keeping yourself updated. This is why our login page is here. And also, you have to log in to access the site for further into details like the news and all the directories, the company lists, everything. So the login page is there for that. Is it? Yeah.
So fair enough. So I will say this: your page is not designed to convert to newsletter subscription. It is designed for users who are existing to come and log in, right? So even if I say sign up, I don't know why should I sign up. Let's say I'm a new guy who doesn't know about this. Maybe that's not the case, but I don't have a clear, you're a virtual alumni. It's not clear what, not clear what you do. Probably maybe more effort. Maybe it's okay for a B2B site, but there's a lot which can happen above the fold, It talks about who you are, what you do. These are main reasons. Why should somebody subscribe to you? And what do they get if they subscribe to you?
Okay, so you're saying the landing page is not good enough?
Yes, because I don't see, let's say if you're targeting it for some B2B companies, then I don't know why I should log in or why I should subscribe here. It's not clear what they will get in return. It's not clear exactly what you do also. You said I have a virtual aluminum ecosystem. Maybe something even more simpler, very clear, something like that. Alright, so I'll put you on mute because there's a lot of noise as well. We'll take offline if you have more questions. Let's put some more website, please. Let's do one more. Okay, sorry guys, there was a lot of disturbance. Okay, I don't know which to pick now.
And there was a lot of background noise that you
are. That was right, Jalaxmi. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll put something random. I don't know. I'm just primaseller.com. Okay. Let's see who's this. Sudarshan. Can you go on the mic, please? Okay, I can. Sudarshan, please. Okay, let's give the control. So as we can see, Sudarshan's site again, like we're waiting, is about. Like what is it about? Let's try to understand. Okay, you want to create an online store on the web front. Okay. Sudarshan, can you be online, please?
Sudarshan, I've unmuted you. Looks like mic is not working at your end. You can type it down in the chat panel.
Right. I'm sorry guys, we are having difficulty with not being able to run it that smoothly, but let's try to, yeah. So I'll give a quick summary while we are waiting. Chat panel is saying not working. All right. So here is my feedback. I think I just based on what I see. So it's okay. It's decent. You know what you're talking about. Grow your retail business on the cloud. You have some value prop, right? Start selling in your store and online from a single platform. But it could be more compelling. The form is good, but it could be more compelling. Why they should trust you. If you're not a known brand, why they should make a store on you. Is there a separate, 30 minutes is only the one-time thing, but is there anything else on an ongoing basis for a store? And you know the competitors in the space, the Zeppo and the, what's that, Shopify of the world. You can look at their landing page. In fact, in my landing page class, I use Shopify's landing page as an example of a well-done landing page and have some tips there. So look at that page. Other thing I'll say, there's no phone number, credibility, other than that, name, company, email, mobile, 4 fields are fine. Create my free phone. I think this can be still more compelling, why somebody should come and, create a retail business. Okay, in interest, this mic is not working. We'll keep moving on. Who next wants to go next? Okay, let's see. Yatin. Yatin, you have a mic? Let's put this site. All right. All right. So Yatin, do you have a mic? Skincare clinic. Let's do this. Again, I want to go deeper. I want to create a plan. I'm not being able to do that. I want you guys on the mic, one of you. So we can create a plan for you. We just give a landing page tips so far. All right, Yatin, can you tell what is the business you're in?
Well, actually, this is a skin clinic. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can. Thanks.
Yeah. This is Kaya Skin Clinic in India. This is the Middle East wing of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a chain of skin clinics, and although it is an offline business, they depend heavily on digital for lead gen.
Okay.
And there is a pop-up appointment box that keeps coming up.
Okay.
It's not showing the screen right now. I think it's gone below the fold possibly. It normally doesn't. It's normally.
Yeah, this summit, get in touch with us. So is this a client of yours? Is this a client of yours?
It's a client of mine. That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
So let me quickly ask, who is the target audience?
A quick clarification. I do content for them. I don't actually do the site. But I would love to know. Yeah.
Sure. So who's the target audience? Can you define that for me?
Yeah, target audience is basically women, age group 25 to 45, and skewed towards Arabs and Emiratis because they have high disposable income. And followed by Westerners.
What is the problem that they are solving? What is it that they're solving? Is it for aging?
They have various buckets. There is age control, the anti-aging treatments. There is then there are skin concerns, which is basically acne and pimples and all the rest of it.
Okay.
Scar removal. There is also skin beauty, skin couture services, and there is laser hair removal. It tends to be seasonal also. For example, towards summer when people get onto the beaches and stuff, it's laser. Sure. In winter, it's different focus.
Sure. Let me quickly make a quick one. See, so this is an interesting use case where above the fold you got a slider and you got 4 things that you. So what is good here is you got very clear targeting. What is it? Next generation laser hair removal, right? Now,
Yes.
why is that interesting is you're very clearly telling what you do. Unlike the other sites or some we saw, we don't know what they do. It takes me a while, and I don't have the patience, especially for consumer startup. B2B still works, but not otherwise, right? So this good.
Yeah, correct. And this is integrated communication, because this communication goes across all media. We do this communication across everything that we do.
Sure, no, that's fine. Let me come to what's more, even what can I do to make it even more better? That's what I will tell, right? I'm not here to just okay. So what is the value, or why am I different than the other laser hair removal? I still don't know the value prop. Okay, it's faster, smoother. Some stats, some testimonials, would be very good above the fold. Why somebody did a actress do it? Did somebody something like that would be even more compelling. Good. Otherwise, good. Is price your differentiator? I don't know. I mean, it's a good value statement. It's not. It doesn't have the punch. All right. Let's go to the next one. Sorry, the anniversary celebration. Looks like a seasonal offer, so I won't comment. Age control. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, this is a rotating banner which tries to feature as many things as possible. There's always a focus product, which is this new launch right now, the laser hair removal. We've just launched it, so it's showing up. But they try to put a lot of things on the rotating banner. My personal experience with this is on the mobile. For example, when I get onto the site, that get in touch with us panel refuses to go away.
It's a bad experience then, absolutely. So the first thing is, yeah, if you know mobile traffic is huge in the geo you are in, and you've got to build a responsive site, then you already know the answer that you don't need this annoying thing here. You've got to fix it. Or if you have a form, you've got to have a mobile-based form, right? And there are tools, So either you do a responsive site or you do a mobile app. Those are the easy answers. But what I was commenting was, okay, once you know the target, how do you make even crisper messaging? I think there can still a lot of room here to improve. The other thing I would say on the top, no phone number. If you are a site who's going to do any of this cleaning stuff, have a phone number instead of me filling the form. And it should be somewhere there. It's just
because there are dozens of sites across the countries in the Middle East. It's across the GCC. It's a common.
Fair enough, but there could be some. I mean, it's always useful if you're going to take appointments. It's like a spa or something. I put it in that category. You got to have the phone number. What else? The other thing I was going to say was, again, if you want to get into the marketing plan is, okay, how do you acquire users, right? So these users, where do you think they hang out? How do you acquire these users? What should you do?
Good question.
Because that's what this session is all about. I know we're doing a lot more landing page, but we want to figure out how to acquire these people who want to do laser hair removal, right? So I'll give you some ideas. We don't know the answer, but content would be one, because they are doing research. They're doing research on, okay, what's the experience like? Who's good? You would look at, what else is there? Usually AdWords is very good in such targeted stuff, because people who are researching, you've got to look at that channel. You've got to look at email, because let's say you have a database, because you're doing something else, you're doing age control. Age control can cross-sell to laser hair. Got to look at email there. So email is, so these are some top of my head. And other than that, a lot of offline ideas. You go to some, I don't know, beauty seminars or whatever, tie up with some, beauticians, several ideas there. But again, I'm happy to go deeper into, as you are interested in learning about them. But each of them, what's a discussion. All right. Any specific question before I go to the next person? I don't know if I helped.
No, that's basically my question is primarily this: is that is the experience too complex when it comes to the page? Is there too much going on?
Yes, it is. But
I don't know where to look. There's far too much going on that page. I think
that is true. I agree with that. I would agree. So the way to answer that would be it's a home page. So sometimes you are okay with the home page, but when you're going to do lead gen for the laser, process, then you're going to have a single page with a single thing, right? Now this case it's a home page, so it's fine. But let's say you land, if you click here and this is where you land, then you've got to have only one stuff, right? Even then, there's a lot of work here which can, this is still not a landing page, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, did we do one or two more? So I think in interest of time, Kapil, let me know how should we do. Should we ask, should we answer more questions, because I don't think, or do more people want me to do their websites?
I think your website Evaluation would take good amount of time, so
Okay.
we can take some open questions, and that would take care of.
I'll take open questions because there will be probably 10 minutes max.
Right.
So, and again, if you guys have websites, I'm happy to send a quick summary. If you send me email, I know I'll get 10 of them. I'll do a 10-minute thing and I'll send you like 3 points in like 50 characters or something. So if it helps, I can at least offer that for being on this. But in the interim, any questions specifically, otherwise, like earlier you were asking about. Okay, what's my email? It's ravi@srijancapital.com. All right, that takes care of that. Anybody else? So what can you do? Have more visitors to visit the Bollywood content portal? Satish asked. All right, so Satish, if you have a Bollywood content portals usually drive traffic using two means. One is organic traffic, which is related to Google search. Second is related to direct traffic, which is more branding and you become a go-to site. I'll give you some ideas. So for example, you create such a compelling content on your site. Let's say you have this paparazzi photographer who puts this photograph that nobody else has, and people come to watch that. That becomes a hook. So eventually, it's about content, quality of content when it comes to Bollywood content. And so as long as you have good content, you rank high in SEO. And if you have unique content, you will get direct traffic, as well as you can use tools to Facebook and be like a scoop where you can get some virality. All right, let's move to the next one. What are the activities which can reduce the bounce rate? Roshan asked. Activities which can reduce the bounce rate, hone your messaging, improve your messaging, and as long as you get targeted traffic on your page and your messaging is right, bounce rate will go down. Other thing to keep in mind, again technical, is the speed or the load time of your site. Load time is a big driver. If your site cannot load, if you're a consumer-oriented site, cannot load less than 3 seconds, you got to go back and check. I'm telling you, 80% of the sites here will load more than 5 seconds. Try to get below 3, huge for bounce rate. All right. What's the best approach to target CTOs, CIOs of SMBs in US? Oh, it's a very targeted question. Off the top of my head, it will be some kind of email database or doing what Digital Vidya is doing right now, which is doing a webinar which will attract the right audience, like the CTO, CIO. So find out what is valuable for them, do a webinar, give them free content, get them on that. Those are the most valuable leads, and they know your brand. All right, next one, Nikhil. Are content on social media still relevant for new user acquisition? Absolutely. Contests are, but is it going to lead into revenue for you? Not sure. So why I will say this is, there is this set of contest hunters out on Facebook and Twitter who are there only to crack the contest. So oftentimes they may not be your target audience, but it definitely helps get the buzz around. All right, does email marketing actually works? Any pointers we need to take that people read the email? Email marketing does work if it is targeted and you're reaching the right people with the right messaging, with the right subject line, and you're not spamming them too much. It absolutely works. I'll give you an example of email marketing relevance. Let's say, and this is an e-com example, let's say you put an item in a cart and you abandon it. Later you get this mail from the e-commerce merchant saying, hey, you left this item in the cart. That's an example of relevant targeting messaging. And saying, hey, if you still want it, I give you extra discount. That's an example why it converts. Other example of relevant targeting, it's your birthday, somebody sends you happy birthday, let's say it's State Bank of India. You are happy about it. It's a personalized message. So it's all around an event. If you're able to tie an email to an event in your life, which leads to conversion, huge, it could be huge, right? All right, let's look at any other questions we have. All right. Okay, somebody has said, would it not be better to have the landing page in Arabic? Yeah, I think it's a good idea for for this Sky's clinic. That is true. Any other questions? Suhasini had a question, has left. Okay. All right. All right, Kapil, are you seeing anything? Okay, I got some. Is responsive website better than app? Okay, it's a great question, Nikhil. I would say most people are doing both. It is not either or today for e-commerce. So if you look at, like you said, for e-com, you look at Flipkart, their website is responsive, but they also have an app. The point is, responsive site means you can open it in mobile without any issues, which is good, but to have deeper, richer experiences, you need to have an app. So I think today it's both. But if you want to start somewhere and want to start cheap, again, I don't know, it's a tough one, but we go with responsive first and then the app. Budget for a digital marketing for a company with 1 crore turnover. It is hard to say. It depends on the segment and the sector you are in. You could be, you know, in real, I don't know. I mean, it just depends. It could vary. It could vary a lot. It could be 5%, 10%. It just depends. Any good tool for email marketing? Several tools out there. The one basic ones which are useful are to help to send you messages through a trusted ISP like a MailChimp or a Mad Mini, and they themselves now have incorporated, you know, some of these tactics that we talked about, whether it's drip marketing or, you know, some of the. But you will have to do some work to think about what are the marketing tactics you have. I mean, there'll be just tools to send emails, right? Yatin asked, does it make sense to? Yeah.
Yeah, well, guys, while you're asking this question, it's a quick commercial poll I'm just putting up in front of you. We'll continue with the Q&A. In case you want to do this, you know, Digital Vidya do 6 months digital marketing course. If you want to do that, you can just mention yes over here and I'll forward your contact details. You can continue, Ravi.
All right. So does it make sense at all to do an app before you have a big online database of following? It's a tough question, I think, to answer. It just depends. You know, if you think your app experience is huge, then maybe, you know, but you know, a lot of people do responsive design first. Okay. Okay. So Nicholas, are AdSense revenue decreasing or increasing for webmasters of content publishing website? Again, a tough question. But if I give you a macro answer, if you are a site who is in India, you should see an increase in AdSense revenue. Why is that? Okay, I'll give you the macro answer. The spend on online is increasing, but the number of eyeballs are also increasing. So two numbers are increasing, but if the spend increases faster than the rate at which eyeballs increase, your cost per click increase, and thus your AdSense CPMs will go up. Again, if it's too technical, think about it, but especially if you're a US geo, the CPMs are going up because the cost of advertising digitally is going. I think it's still not true in India, so maybe it's kind of flattish in India, but otherwise, if you are targeting US and other geos, your AdSense revenue in general for the same page views would increase, in my opinion. Right? All right. So, who else has a question? All right. Happy to answer any more questions. If not, I'm available. If you guys have any specific, I know I was not able to quickly analyze and give you some ideas, and also I was not fully satisfied that we couldn't do a deeper plan. That was partly because we didn't have like the full owners all the time, and we couldn't go deeper enough in the interest of time. But I'm happy to look at your specific stuff. Right? If there are any questions, I will. Okay, let's take some more. Could you list the free tools for research and analysis? So Jacob, the tools that we used today was SimilarWeb.com. We also talked about Alexa.com. Then we talked about, what else did we talk about? That's probably what we talked about. There is also AdWords. Satish asked how to generate leads for real estate. Good question, Satish. 2-3 tactics which work well. One is, AdWords related. I've seen display ads, I've seen AdWords working well in the real estate industry, but it has to be very targeted because geo-specific. I've also seen affiliates and email databases do well because, again, they're very targeted. Also, Facebook also works well. It just depends. It depends on this segment. Is it the top? But again, yeah, I mean, and there are people who are doing it a lot, so you can look at that. Right? Satish was okay. All right. Thanks, Suresh. Glad you liked it. Okay. All right. So somebody asked, how do we utilize digital marketing for lead gen in B2B environment in IT sector? So B2B lead gen, I didn't cover much, but I can quickly say usually webinars, white papers. See, content is important to show that you are the authority or you know something about the space. First, you got to build credibility in B2B space, and that can happen from quality content. Use that to drive some lead gen. Apart from that, the other lead gen that happens in IT space is maybe seminars and other methods out there which are well known, or email databases, right? Right. For real estate industry, which is talking to NRI firms, it's a bit of NRIs again. So NRIs is again a niche segment. You would probably look at maybe affiliate partnerships or people who have NRI database. It's a very specific question. Maybe we can look at it and more in depth, but high level I would say specific sites or databases in that geo. All right. Yatin asks, is blogging enough? Blogging is not enough. Blogging is the beginning of it, but what is in the blog is more important. Is the quality good enough that people would spend 10 minutes to reach that? That is more enough. Thanks, Soraya. Thanks all those who liked the session and also those who didn't. If there is anything you would like me to know which I would have done to make this better, do email me or send it across. I'm always looking to make this more enjoyable for you guys. All right, Kapil, so maybe we can wrap up, I think, because the questions are wearing down. And
sure. Guys, thanks a lot for your participation. You've got some insightful tricks and tips to improve on your online presence. So we've already exceeded by 7 minutes. And you'll soon get the recording of today's session along with the presentation, and it would take us a couple of days to upload it, and then we'll send out an email to all of you. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ravi, for taking out time.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.